Welcome everybody. We have another show today. We got another pregame show when it comes to the Dallas Mavericks and the Phoenix Suns. But today we are joined by a special guest. He is one half of the Mavs Outsiders podcast. He also has another podcast called Have You Seen? Did I get that right? Have you seen ? And all that.
Yes, sir.
I feel like I think your screen is like frozen. Let me see what's going on here.
Yeah, I saw it went away like right when you started talking.
Let's see. Yeah, these technical difficulties, right? They're just happen all suddenly.
Trying to see. Let me know if there's anything I need to do.
Let's see if I can refresh it.
All right, looks like
There it goes. Okay. I think we're live. All right, we're good. So yeah, besides butchering that intro, so yes, we have BibsCorner on the show tonight, man. I'm very appreciative that you're willing to do this. I know we talked about this a couple weeks back, so I appreciate you taking the time out to jump onto the show. If you could let those on my channel that have not been aware of you, I wouldn't know how they wouldn't, being in the Mavs community. If you could let them know a little bit about yourself, man.
Yeah. So appreciate the invite. First of all, I always like trying to make appearances on other people's shows and stuff. Try to introduce myself to the other fan bases because I'm not really on YouTube, especially. So Mavs Outsiders, the podcast for all Mavs content. Outsiders because it's myself, who I live in South Carolina, and Reese is my co-host, Reese Williams. He lives in Baltimore, and we give a different perspective than most of the mainstream podcasts. So try to round that all up into the Mavs Outsiders. I've been a Mavs fan since the late 90s. The whole Dirk era, Steve Nash, all that good stuff. I was mad at Cuban back when he let Nash go. Like it's deep rooted in there. So that's where the Mavs fandom comes from. You mentioned my other podcast, Have You Seen? That's my movie review podcast. I dabble in that area as well. I used to write for a couple websites. I've done some cool interviews, been to some festivals, stuff like that. So that's really where my main passion is. It's with the film side, but the basketball stuff started out as just venting online and turned into this podcast situation. So
that's hilarious. How you said it started out as venting. I think all of us have turned into venters lately, being a Mavs fan. No, but appreciate you for that, man. And again, it's goes without saying, doing these kind of shows and these broadcasts that they have guests come on here, it means a lot to me. So appreciate you being on here. So for those that are not sure how this show runs, we have a couple of segments on here and we talk about the Mavs and the Suns. But today I wanted to start it a little bit differently. I know you won't be able to see this on your screen. Maybe you will. But today is I wanted to talk about Kobe Bryant as this fade comes into it. And, Kobe Bryant passed in 2020, unfortunately. Bibs, I wanted to ask you, when it comes to Kobe Bryant and his story and his entire life and everything that deals with Mamba, if you could break down a little bit about what he means to you and then how you see what you think about Kobe on this unfortunate day a couple years ago.
Yeah, it's actually weird how I'm about to start this. My first memory of Kobe was my cousin. One of my older cousins that played basketball. She had a big Kobe Bryant poster on her wall. And at the time, like I was all in on Iverson. Like that was my guy. I had the braids. And so, it was a rivalry for me. Like I was like, Iverson is my guy. Kobe is trash. Like I don't like this guy. I want him to lose all the championships ever. When it was the 76ers versus the Lakers in the finals, I was all in on my guy Iverson getting it done and taking over as the one, if you will.
Right.
I feel like I might have had some technical difficulties on my side.
I think it'll come back just like the other one did. I'm trying to refresh it over here, but
looks like it tried to come back.
There it goes.
If we need us cameras, just let me know.
Okay.
But yeah, so I started out not liking Kobe when it was the Kobe and Shaq beef. I had Shaq's side in the beef. But over the years, I began to respect him as for what he's accomplished, what he did, his work ethic, all of that. And I was glad that I got the opportunity to switch to that respect before he passed. Because if he had passed before I switched over, it would have hit me even harder than it did when he passed. I think the stuff that he was doing after his career with promoting women's basketball, I think the stuff that his daughter was about to do and her friends, like that whole crew, like I could see the future of them going to the WNBA and like having a big impact. And it's sad, man. It's unfortunate that it went that way. I typically, and I don't know if you want me to get to his passing yet, but
yeah, you can touch on it, man. Go ahead.
So I mentioned it earlier on Twitter. Somebody had a post like talking about how shocked they were, and I just remember I was in the drive-thru. I was about to order, and I just checked Twitter while I was waiting for the person to ask me for what I wanted, and I saw the TMZ thing, and I was like, ain't no way, like this is too casual a way for me to learn this news. Like this doesn't feel like the right way for me to learn this news. And as I'm digging, eventually I accepted it. Like this is actually real, and I couldn't believe it. Like I was in shock. I've never missed work for I probably haven't missed work for death in the family type stuff, unless it was like for travel reasons. Right. Like I didn't go to work the next day. Like my mind was all messed up, and I think it was the little girls being on there that kind of really pushed it to another level.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, I'll touch on the passing too, but for me, the way it has started, for me, as far as Kobe Bryant is concerned, I think early on, I just hated him, right? Because every time we played the Mavs, he just destroyed us. And I remember being in a Kmart, go way back in a Kmart, playing what was it, a GameCube, and it was like the 2002 NBA game, and it was him with the afro and Shaq and all that stuff, and honestly, when you hate a great player, is you hate them because they're not playing for your team, right? It's not you hate the actual players, and so that's where it came from. But towards the end of his career, I came to appreciate everything that he was doing, and the touch on his passing. Like I was at work, just like you got it. I got a notification on Twitter, and I was just like, nah, this is one of the times that TMZ got it wrong, and sure enough, they got it completely right, and I had people hitting me up that know that I'm a Mavs fan, but I guess they just knew that I admired Kobe for everything that he's been doing, like his detail shows, his Muse show that he had, and the ankle surgery, the whole journey, not the Achilles surgery and journey that he had. So it just everything about the way he was his mentality to things, like it was very admirable, and to just see everything that he was about to become, and then for it to abruptly end it was really sad during that time, man. So, but yeah, just wanted to touch on Kobe today, and hopefully have Vanessa's prayers, and hopefully they have a good day on a struggling day. It's one of those things that I think everyone can relate to. Whenever you have the anniversary of someone that passed, and that you love so much, it hurts a lot. So hopefully they had a decent day today. All right, man. On something lighter, let's go ahead and let's switch into some Mavs versus Phoenix Suns. Hopefully the Suns and 4 crowd is in the crowd, So let me go ahead and cue up the matchup. I got stingers and stuff, right, for this stuff. So you'll probably see it on your end over here in a second. But let's go ahead and get the soundboard running for this for everyone that be watching. Let me get the matchup sound. All right, matchup sound. Here it goes. New stinger, ladies and gentlemen, new stinger. All right, so the Mavericks and Suns matchup, we got a couple of things to discuss in this matchup today. Again, there is going to be no Devin Booker. I'm not sure if Ayton has recovered from his COVID illness. But
check on that for you.
All right, let's see what we got with that. I do know Chris Paul is going to be available today, and Cameron Johnson is back as well. As far as the Suns stats, the way ESPN does them is pretty funny. They put like the player that has the most games is who has the most points. But their team leaders, they got DeAndre Ayton at 17.5, even though Devin Booker got 27.1 points per game. Their rebound leaders is DeAndre at 9.9. Their assist leaders should be Chris Paul with 8.5, but they got Michael Bridges. I'm like, all right. Michael Bridges at 1.2 steals, and then Biyombo at almost 1.5 blocks for the Phoenix Suns. As far as the Mavs concerned, Luka Doncic again leads the team on points at 33.8. He went up from 8.8 rebounds to 9.1 rebounds and is still leading the team in rebounds. Leads the team in assists with 8.6 per game. Leads the team in steals with 1.5 per game. And Christian Wood still leads the team in blocks with 1.3 per game. So in this segment, we just want to point out specific matchups that you're looking forward to in the game. What matchups are you looking forward to when it comes to the Mavs and Suns tonight?
Looking forward to. That's a heck of a question there. I'm looking forward to seeing how they play Luka. I think that's going to be a big determining factor for how this game goes. If they decide to trap him, then I'm looking forward to seeing Spencer Dinwiddie work against the others. If they don't trap him, then I'm looking forward to Luka cooking. So that's simply what it comes down to. And I will confirm for you now that Ayton is active. He said he's playing.
I think our chances of winning just took another hit tonight with him coming back. That's tough. Let me play the sound of emotional damage. I play the emotional damage sound because I thought we were going to be 8-free tonight, but apparently he's not. For me, the matchups I'm looking forward to seeing if Chris Paul guards Luka, and again, like you said, depending on how the Suns guard him. And like I always say in all these shows, I feel like I'm becoming so repetitive, and I hate sounding repetitive. But when it comes to the Dallas Mavericks, the only way they could win is making the wide open shots that Luka finds these players on. And if they can make those wide open shots, they become unbeatable. But because we don't make those wide open shots, it looks like how it's been looking like lately. And if I were to tell you, like if we could ever have one sharpshooter, I feel like the whole blitzing Luka does not happen anymore.
Yeah.
And so I would love if we ever were able to get an opportunity at someone similar to like a Kyle Korver back then, someone that could run off of a screen, get wide open, and that shot's going to be on point whenever they're wide open. And we don't have that threat. So it just feels like, is there a way to get him back on the team?
They said that they were shopping him today. So, I'm just putting it out there.
That would be a great.
I wore the jersey today for the vibes.
For the vibes, I think we all appreciate that because I think we would all love to have a shooter like that back on the team. So what we do after each segment, we jump into the chats real quick, and then right after the chat, we come right back into another segment. Let me go ahead and take the matchup sign down, and let's get into any comments that we got. So again, everyone that's watching the show currently, definitely leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Also check out Bibs' Corner and check out the Mavs Outsider and Have You Seen podcast as well. As soon as I can, I'll update this video so I can have all the links below. Again, I just got out of work, so everything be crazy, right? So Christian, what's up, man? You just jumped on in the chat. He says, any news on any Mavs trade rumors? For today, Bibs, have you heard any trade rumor that you feel is worth mentioning?
The biggest one that people have been yelling at me about online today is D'Angelo Russell.
Oh, that one I feel like it's been creeping up, and now it's like getting some legs. What do you think about that?
So, all right, let me make sure my language is right. If we don't lose Spencer Dinwiddie and bring in D'Angelo Russell from a basketball standpoint, I'm not mad at that.
Okay.
We know we struggle with losing Jalen Brunson and pretending that Frank was going to replace him in the off the bench. Spencer's kind of replaced Jalen, but nobody replaced Spencer, and that's why Spencer and Luka have to play 40 minutes a night, and why we barely look like a basketball team when Luka doesn't play.
Yeah, and I think. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, but then you have to look at the fact that he is expiring, and he could walk. So then we end up with him and Wood potentially walking on us, and I think that would actually end up giving us some cap space, depending on who we send back. I would assume we'd have to give up either Tim or Bertans to make that happen. And I believe that would give us a little bit of cap space to play around with. But is that worth the trade-off?
Man, we're in such a dire situation when it comes to possible moves and possible, financial gymnastics. Like, we're just in a difficult situation. So when I hear the D'Angelo Russell, I don't know if we could get something. If we do get him, I just hope he could play like Brooklyn Nets Russell, right? Like something against to what he's been playing like recently. But I wouldn't be mad if it took Tim Hardaway Jr. or Bertans. I mean, I haven't looked at what's his name stats. I haven't looked at Russell's stats, but I would figure that.
Give you a quick breakdown.
Yeah, go ahead. Give me a little quick break.
46 and a half from the field, 38.3 from three this year, 86.7 I think from the free throw line. Which we would be nice to have somebody who can shoot some free throws.
I was about to say, you sold me on the free throw line precision.
I think he's averaging like 17 and a half points and like 6.5 assists a game as well.
Okay.
So he's right in line with what Jalen Brunson or Spencer was doing last year.
Okay.
And so it's a matter of him buying into, we'll say, earning his rotation spot,
right,
by coming off the bench when he gets here, like Spencer did last year, and then figuring out how to get those Spencer and D'Lo minutes to work. But people were acting like it was just the worst idea ever, and I'm like, he can play off the ball. His catch and shoot is over 40% from three. He can handle the ball as a lead guard as well. Like, that's the type of guys we want near Luka. And I'm hearing people, but his defense is like, is Tim Hardaway Jr. Elite? Like, what are we doing, man? Like,
right.
You're not gonna get the perfect player.
Yeah, no, and I think I was like really not on the Russell train, but like the We Talk Mavs boys say, the trash can juice. Like it's not it just rears its ugly head sometimes. Like he has those stretches of 5 games where he's breaking records from a 3-point range, and then he just really goes on a dry route, a dry spell, a dry run that it's just like, we've seen it so many times that at this point it's not even like a isolated event. This is just who he is, right? He's going to be up and down all the time, consistently inconsistent. And I like to say that about a few players in Dallas, not just the basketball teams, but I'm just like, I'd definitely be open to the idea with D'Angelo Russell. As long as we're not losing Green, Hardy, Wood, Spencer Dinwiddie and stuff like that, I'm open to it. And again, it is expiring, so it could open something up towards the end of the off season or in the off season.
Yeah. That's what it comes down to for me is, what are we giving up? If we're not giving up, like you said, those guys that we actually care to be here long term, then by all means, I'm all in.
Yep. Ocho, what's up, Ocho? Ocho 41 says, Outsiders pod cracks me the hell up, even the non-Mav stuff. Let me tell you, bro, there was one day I was driving from where I'm at now in Kingsville, Texas, way down here south, driving all the way to San Antonio, and it was the draft episode that you had. And I kid you not, that entire episode just had me cracking up the whole time. I'm talking about 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. got to drive in nothing but fog and darkness, and I'm just like, I didn't even focus on it. I just enjoy that pod so much. So Ocho says that y'all be cracking them up, man, even on non-math stuff.
I appreciate that. That's what we try to do. Like, I'm not trying to sit up here and sound like a reporter, because I'm not that. I'm not gonna pretend to be that. I'm trying to have fun, man. It's just me and my guy chopping it up, talking about this team that frustrates us both.
Yeah, it is funny how sometimes y'all come into the pod like, man, do we really have to talk about that?
It's rough, man. It's rough sometimes.
Yeah. Richard K says, add Nas, I guess Nazir, one of those players. Well, think about it. Extend Nas, let D'Lo walk for cap space. Oh, I guess he's saying to get Nas instead of D'Lo.
Nas Reed.
Yeah, Nas Reed. And I know Richard, he's been in these comments saying a lot about Nas lately, and I'm just like, I need to take some time to look into what Nas brings to the table. But I think you need a ball handler first and foremost, and then you could try to go get a big. Because I think that the main issue is just there's so much reliance on Luka and Spencer Dinwiddie.
That's the fun part of these conversations is everybody's prioritizing different things. Like, we don't need that, we need this. It's like, well, we need all of these things. It's just a matter of which one you prioritize.
Right. And I think let's look at it from this perspective. If you still had Jalen Brunson, you feel a lot better about this team, right?
Yeah.
So if you have that third ball handler, we would feel a little bit better about this team. And I think that's where it lies. I think if you get Maxey back and give him a slightly less role where he's not maximizing his minutes out there and, you know, opening up for injury, I think this team's in a better position. So let's go ahead and Harold, I'm gonna get back to your comment. Let's get into this next segment. That way we don't get too comment heavy here. Let me find the stuff. The next segment is gonna be the keys to victory. Let me cue in the sound and also cue in the stinger as well. There we go. All right, well, the stinger did not work, but there it goes. Now it worked. All right, so keys to victory, man. Keys to victory. When it comes to the Suns versus the Dallas Mavericks tonight, there's no Devin Booker, but there's also no Christian Wood for us. For you, the keys to victory is more like X's and O's. Like, what is something that you would think would work for the Mavericks tonight and getting a win over the Suns?
Main thing that has to happen is we have to box out. We cannot allow DeAndre Ayton to have a 20 rebound game on us. We don't really have a true answer for it, so we got to get back to the fundamentals. We got to make sure that we're getting bodies on guys, not giving them multiple opportunities on the offensive side of the ball.
Man,
that's our main key.
I feel like that is. Hold on, let me cue in the sound. Major key.
Major key.
I think that is a major key right there. For me, besides that, I would say if Luka's matched up with Chris Paul, take that man to the post and punish that little guy, you know, and try to find open shooters. It goes without saying, again, open shots, drain them. But I think if you could get that matchup, I know he's going to get that matchup with Cameron Payne. And depending on what Luka does with that, but overall, the Suns are on a winning streak, even without Booker, and even without Ayton. So they're coming on a winning streak. They're gonna get their big man back. We're in Phoenix. We're on a slump. I don't feel the greatest about this game tonight. But then again, it is Luka versus the Suns, and that's when you throw things out the window when it comes to that. But for me, it's Luka being matched up on Chris Paul. If you can do that and do it effectively, get Chris Paul in foul trouble, you could open up to the point where you get other players in there to where they're not as efficient as Chris Paul. But yeah, that's left to be seen. Let's take this down. Let's get back to these comments real quick. So Harold said people forget about Frank. THJ is like a free agent to us. Cam Reddish and D'Lo without giving up draft picks. That would be nice. I'm not mad at the Cam Reddish deal. I know they said it was going to take a second. Where are you at on Cam Reddish?
I don't know why it would take a second if they want Reggie Bullock. If anything, I feel like they should be giving us a second because we're trading for a guy that's not even in your rotation right now.
True.
And for a guy that's in our rotation and a guy that you apparently covet. So, me and Reese had the episode on the Mavs Outsiders where we did reclamation projects. And I think that's where we have to look because we're not a team that's going to attract big name free agents. We don't have the greatest assets to pull a big trade right now. So we have to find those young players that maybe have shown flashes here and there, but haven't really hit their stride that we can bring in and get them to that place. So Cam Reddish fits that profile. He's a restricted free agent. So even if he gets offers from other teams, we can match that. And I personally think he fits. He's 6'8", defensive minded guy. Him and Josh Green beside Luka sounds like a fit to me. He had a year where he hit 38% from three in Atlanta already. I think that he just needs to change the scenery and a team that believes in him. And if I do give Kid credit for one thing, it's getting young guys that are defensive minded to where they need to be. So.
Yep. I see Cam Reddish paired with Luka and flourishing. I see him having one of those type of situations where Luka's gonna get that man paid just being associated with Luka, just like Luka's gotten so many other players paid. I know Jason Kidd says he's gonna get the players paid, but it really be Luka that gets people played. Oh, my dog is so active right now. But yeah.
Dog says he needs some love.
He do. He just be acting all crazy, even though I walked him earlier. Christian says Luka brought his sister's last game and they had a look at this trash team, Cuban's cheap ass fault. Yeah, I saw his dad, and I'm guessing that's his sisters, but or probably nieces, but yeah,
I didn't even know he had sisters.
I didn't even know either. That was a rough look if you're Luka and bringing him to a game like that and losing like that.
You cuss on his channel?
I don't. I'll say words like damn and probably the A word every now and then, but I don't get to the F's or the S's.
I can't think of it. I'm struggling with the name of the character, but you know the meme. It's like, damn, you live like this. Like, I'm sure that's what they're thinking watching that game the other day.
Yeah, it had to be. Lupita says, "Hola, what's up? Christian says, we need a damn center. Yeah, we do. Luka playing in the World Cup in Japan in the summer, so another offseason hard trying to win with Slovenia. Okay, I would like for him to stay here in the States one summer just to recruit a little bit, just to see what that looks like, but it ain't gonna happen." Richard said, "Spence will be last year and 29. Are we going to resign? We'll have to trade next year. We're saying let's get D'Lo and Nas."
Yeah, Spencer. I think we haven't quite hit 50 games, but his contract for next year will be fully guaranteed here in the next week or so. He has to play 50 games to have it fully guaranteed for next year. And be expiring next year, I guess. Spencer's
been playing great this year for what he's been asked to do. Like you said, it's just no one has replaced Spencer's production on this team. Richard says Luka will get his, but who else does? And we're going to have to outscore tonight. Yeah, we're really gonna have to outscore the Suns tonight. As much as we would like to see some defense, I don't foresee that being a thing tonight, because I feel like the Miami Heat game was like a little bit of a mirage, man. Like, we saw it, we were all like, what is that? And then the next game it was like, oh no, never mind, it was just a mirage.
The Heat were trying. The Heat cared too much about trying to stop Luka to the point that they weren't even playing their game, in my opinion. But it was just funny seeing people overreact to that game like that was the one that defined who we were, and ignoring all these other games where we look like complete trash.
Yeah, man. That Miami Heat game, I was like, all right, that's a cool win. Hopefully we can build on that. And then you go into the Clippers game, you're like, all right, defense, we figured it out. It's like immediate psych. It was just, yeah.
Like, nah, we just allowed 140 points 2 days in a row to the Blazers. We didn't figure out defense, I promise.
Yeah. All right, let's get into this next segment. I call this segment the over-unders. I like this segment. One of my favorite segments is because we get to play with the idea of being the over-under overlords, right? So let's go and cue that sound for the over-unders. All right, over-unders. This is where we can come up with our over-under and put it in the chat and let people vote on this. Bibs, what over-under you want to go with? You could choose anything. You could go from Dwight Powell getting hit in the face, over-unders. You go from who's going to foul out first, or who's going to get as many points. You can decide. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to go to my major key. DeAndre Ayton, over under 12.5 rebounds.
12.5 rebounds. All right, let's go put the over. I like that one. Under. All right. So in the chat, we put the poll up of DeAndre Ayton, 12.5 rebounds. Y'all can go ahead and vote on there. It's going to be over or under. Y'all think DeAndre Ayton gets over 12.5 rebounds? I am going to say comfortably that he gets over. For sure. And that's going to be my perspective on that. I think there's nobody that's going to stop him unless we start McGee. This could be, hold on, let me cue in the breaking news, because news stinger. Here we go. Yeah, I do the whole bit, man. Breaking news. This could be the JaVale McGee revenge game.
You got me all excited for that. That's what you got me excited for.
Yeah.
Oh man.
You think JaVale? You know, that's probably another poll. That's another over under. You think he gets minutes tonight against his old team?
Over under 1 minute.
Oh man.
I'm gonna say yes, because I think we're gonna win. I think he's gonna get some garbage minutes.
Dang.
Actually, they've been avoiding playing him in garbage time, haven't they?
They've been avoiding playing him in general. It's crazy. And I did like a whole soliloquy on JaVale McGee's contract and how I feel like it needs to be studied and all the major campuses across America. Because I don't know what kind of conversation he and Nico had or his agent had, because for 3 years, nearly $6 million each year, the type of
really
work. What?
We had a bidding war with the Bucks over JaVale McGee. That's insane.
And then you look at Drummond getting $1 million. You look at Howard overseas, like he could be somewhat utilized here. You know, like.
You know what makes me the saddest about it though?
What?
Knowing that the money we use to get JaVale McGee is the same money that the Nuggets use to get Bruce Brown.
That's crazy. And you know that money that we use to get JaVale McGee, why couldn't we just add that to Jalen Brunson's contract offer? Like, I would much rather have Jalen Brunson without having JaVale McGee as a center, if that's what it costs.
Why are we pinching pennies on a guy who just showed us that he was second or third most important player? Second most, actually. I'm not even going to say or third. Second most important player on the roster we can't spend money on. But, you know, at least Cuban's consistent in that realm.
Oh, man. I don't know the over-under on the amount of, how would I say, the amount of wiggle room he has as an owner, to be honest with you. And I think it's because of the dire situation of wasting these Luka years, man. Where we're literally just toying with these years, like, oh, this is a Luka year. Let's go ahead and just toy with it because we're gonna have so many of them. And I don't like what it feels like, very complacent mentality, complacent activities. I don't like it, and I don't know, man. It's tough to feel like this right now, but I know we got a trade deadline coming up, so you never know. The vibes could completely change by then.
Yeah, I'm trying to be patient. You know, we pulled it off at the very last minute last time, and I'm really hoping for something like that again. If Tim Hardaway Jr. or Reggie Bullock are off the roster after the trade deadline, then Nico gets some more grace from me. Nico and Mark, since I know Mark has to sign off on everything. Excuse me.
True. All right, so I'll go ahead and end this poll. The poll with 13 votes. Shout out to everyone that's voted on this poll. The over-under on DeAndre Ayton's rebounds, 69% say over 12.5 rebounds. So if that's the line on Prize Picks or wherever, go ahead and put that over on there, man.
It's actually 9.5 on Prize Picks, so that's a lock then.
That's a lock. Prize Picks sleeping, man. They slept. All right, so let me pick one tonight. I say, who do I want to go with? Let's go with JaVale McGee's minutes, man. McGee's minutes. I'm gonna set it because this kid give in and be like, you want to play against your old team? Yeah, we'll give you a couple minutes. I'm gonna set it at It's funny that we do this like this. I can't believe I have a platform that I could do this. We'll set it at 4.5 minutes. Y'all go ahead and put over unders on 4.5 minutes. Does he get 4.5 minutes in a potential revenge game against his old team?
I'm smashing under on that.
Harold Victor says one sister and the other is his cousin. Okay, that's cool. Talking about Luka is relatives. Rolando Gonzalez, what's up, man? He says, "What's up, guys? What's up, bro?"
Rolo.
He had also said way over on the rebounds for Aiden.
How y'all feel about? I'm gonna ask y'all. Am I gonna do another one or?
Yeah. Well, you'll do the next one.
I'll wait for it. All
right, let me get through these comments and then we'll set it off with the other one. Ultra says Stingers are hitting tonight. No chance on the JaVale thing though. Ashton Parker, what's up, man? 20 rebounds. You know Powell is on. Yeah. Powell probably get fouled out. Dang, Rolando says ultimate pension contract when it comes to JaVale McGee's. I'm believing. Harold says Luka and the fan base hates JaVale. Bro, did you see Luka's post-game presser the other day? I feel like this year he has been even less and less, how would I put it, invested in giving like answers as he used to. They're just short, dry, cut, a little bit of sarcasm, not even sarcasm, just like he's just not there. What do you attribute that to besides the losing?
I think getting to the Western Conference Finals made him thirsty and hungry for that ring. And I think he's frustrated because he doesn't feel like he's closer to that based on what we're dealing with. He's going out busting his behind every night, and sometimes it doesn't mean anything. Like, last game where he had a 40 point. I didn't even realize he had 40 points till after the game, and it doesn't matter because we lost. So that has to be frustrating.
Yeah, I think in the Wizards game, I had put a over-under on our 3-point percentage. It needed to be over 35.5 to win the game. And I looked at the 3-point percentage late after the game, and I was like, ain't no way I was that so close on the margins. We shot 33.3% from the three. And if we just made one more three, it would have been Dub City. Bobby Chapman, what's up, man? He says, imagine this team with Brunson and Porzingis.
I don't want to imagine it with Porzingis.
Yeah, it'd be just like the other night against Washington. Him on the bench chilling. Christian says Cuban probably thinks Luka is Dirk, but Luka is different. We all know Luka is different, and if Mark Cuban does not know that, then this is going to be the ultimate letdown in Maverick history if he does not understand the severity of it. What do you think happens to this Mavs franchise if we completely fumble this Luka journey here? Besides being in the pits.
I can't think that far. I can't think that far because it's not going to be good. You got to think about it. Like, for the past 5-ish years, they've had a homegrown superstar. Like, what does going out and finding guys look like? Jaden Hardy and Josh Green are not carrying anybody to the promised land at this point in time, I wouldn't think. And they're the only two that are potentially guaranteed to be here if Luka leaves in 3 to 4 years. If we choose to keep them, I should say.
Right. If
we trade them, then we're in a whole. And that's another reason why you have to keep them, because if Luka walks, you got a blank slate and you're building from scratch. Because all the rest of our guys are over 30. They're not going to be in the league when Luka's contract is over either.
Yeah. Do you know that the Oklahoma City Thunder has 19 first-round picks over the next 6-7 seasons? Do you also know that the Utah Jazz has about, like, I believe 15 or 14 first-round picks over the next couple seasons? Like, these teams, they're getting set up, and you look at us, and we're just like, we
can't even do that.
We're meddling with mediocrity, bro. And I don't know if Luka's gonna be okay with any of that. And the only way to not only, I guess, satisfy his thirst for winning and satisfy our situation that we fumbled financially and from a draft pick perspective, from a roster perspective, if it gets to that dire point, you're gonna have to not to let Luka walk, but you have to trade him to get something back. And
that, do you think that he would do that?
Luka or Cuban?
Cuban.
Yeah, I don't even trust that, man. I think he wouldn't be able to see that far ahead, and we just lose him for nothing, just like we did with JB.
He would be so stubborn that he would rather lose him for nothing than give in and trade him.
Jesus Christ, man.
That's where I'm at with it.
Yeah, and see, I'm to a point where I love Luka so much that I would not mind if he left to go succeed. Go ahead, I'm all for you succeeding, because we did not do you any justice here, right? I'd root for him, but I'm still gonna be a Mavs fan begrudgingly. But I'd be so disappointed. Coy says, y'all talking a straight up trade Reddish for a Bullock? I'd sign off on that. You got someone that can actually dribble the ball. Probably he's obviously way younger, more potential, better defense, 1,000%. If it was a straight up, would you do it straight up?
If it came down to it, I probably would. Like, again, taller Josh Green type player. If you just look at him as a defensive guy that's going to run the floor with Josh, so Josh isn't the only one running the floor, then you can't lose there. And if he gives us even more than that, which he's shown he can do, he's shown he can shoot 38% from 3, then we win. Like I'm not gonna say it's a Lauri Markkanen potential situation, but it's a Lauri Markkanen potential situation where you get a guy who everybody's out on. He's been in a couple spots. He hasn't really shown that potential that got him drafted really high. And then you bring him in and he's in the right situation, the right system, and he flourishes. And that's what does flourishing look like? Maybe it's 12 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. But that's better than what we're dealing with right now. So
better than the goose eggs that Reggie Bullock given us. So after 14 votes, the people have spoken, and 86% have took the under on JaVale McGee's 4.5 minutes in tonight's game. Oh, well, 87% now after 15 votes. So let's go ahead and let's do one more over under. What you got, bro?
All right. This is I skipped this one on Prize Picks.
Okay.
And I shouldn't be talking about Prize Picks because that's the ops. DraftKings Sportsbook is where you should be doing all your sports betting. But Dwight Powell over under 15.5 points, rebounds, assists.
PRA 15.5?
15.5.
All right. Points, rebounds. I'm going to just put PRA, ladies and gentlemen. That's points, rebounds, assists. If y'all not familiar with these betting apps, that's what PRA means. Points, rebounds, assists. So this is the total amount of points, rebounds, and assists together. Hey, Sylvester. Stop chewing the toy over there. Making noise, sir. So again, points, rebound, assist. If it's over 15.5 together, then that's what you got. This dog, he's chewing on a water bottle and he's just making noise. He's looking at me like I'm not noticing him. All right, so y'all go ahead in the chat. Y'all go ahead and vote on that poll. Let's get into a few more comments and then we jump into our next segment. Marcellus Hobb says, "What's good, y'all? Winter Soldier for Reddish."
Send him back to New York so he can really enjoy that winter weather.
Yeah, whenever he has his games and you post that Winter Soldier picture, I die every time, man. It's hilarious. It's hilarious. And I know I'm
post it again.
Yeah, and I know you missed posting that the what is it, the wall, the Cleveland wall,
the Würzburg wall. Yeah.
Those are pretty dope, man. Pretty dope. Rolando says McGee doesn't get minutes. He gets traded mid-game, Harrison Barnes style. Jesus, I don't know what the hell we traded Harrison Barnes for. If it was just what's the guy's
cap
name?
Space.
That was it.
Justin Jackson and cap space.
What do we do with that?
Absolutely nothing.
All right, I was just making sure because I
in case you forgot.
to this day I don't understand why we let the man go. Like he could be. Imagine if I don't even want to imagine anymore. Let me just.
We were so excited.
Yeah.
That's the thing that makes it upsetting. We were so excited. Like KP's gonna get healthy. We're gonna have all this cap space this summer to add to it, and we did nothing. We just paid KP and hope for the best. We didn't spend any of that money, and we're paying for it.
Yeah.
So
it's such an airball that we took with KP, man. Bobby Chapman says, "How many years you give Luka, man? 2 more." I want to stay on the half glass full perspective and still think that we keep him for his entire career. But that's just me thinking half glass full. I don't want to get to the thought that he's gone in 2 years. But I do know that through some sources, word on the street is that he has given ultimatum to the Mavs. 2 years is all you got.
I was saying, 3 was my ideal. He can't leave at that point, but I don't know. Do you think he would hold out, or?
I mean, he could probably demand a trade.
You think he'd go full James Harden?
See, here's the thing. I don't think so because I don't see him in New York. I don't see him. And again, this is just assuming. I just because of how much he loves Slovenia and just the overall farm and the quietness of where he's at. I think Dallas is a better situation because we're not like Miami where there's going to be all these vices and temptation, right? Los Angeles is just. I think he likes LA, but it's just so much out there. And New York is a concrete jungle.
I told you my team to watch, or maybe you didn't hear my team to watch.
Who?
The Magic.
You're like the second person that told me about that, and I could definitely
stuff is real.
Yeah, I could definitely see the Magic because they coming up too. They got decent players, decent pieces out there. So, and you got Disney out there, so why not? You know,
exactly. I mean, he's a big kid. You think he's not gonna just spend a lot of time at Disney, Universal Studios?
Yeah, spent a lot of time out there. He said, Jose Mata says, would you sell high on Dinwiddie, a potential late first round pick? I don't know if I want to give up Dinwiddie unless it's like,
I don't know if we can afford to.
Yeah, and if we're gonna give him up, it's got to be like two. I don't know, man. This is such a difficult situation. Like, why would you give up pieces that you know are good? Unless it's someone that I know is gonna have potential down the road, like 2 pieces. I'm for it.
Like,
but
we gotta get 2 pieces. At least one of them needs to be a point guard that we can actually play 25, 30 minutes right away.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, we're kind of screwing ourselves.
Yep.
Like, who's going to play point guard when Luka's off if we trade Dinwiddie? Jaden Hardy?
Mm-mm. I mean, I hope he develops that quick, but I think it was just more early on when I wanted Jaden Hardy to play so many minutes. It was just more like out of a need, like, bro, we need someone else desperately. Richard says
he's an off-ball guy right now. Like, you let him score, but I wouldn't let him run the offense.
Yeah. Then he has those patches where he's great, and 15 minutes just gets you 15 points, and then he has them runs where it's just turnover after turnover, or just losing the ball, whatever the case may be. Richard K says Cuban gives the city rings, y'all will build his casino. If Cuban could get some actual championships, then he could build his new arena with a casino. It's all possible if he could just do right with this roster. Let me get into a few more comments. If Cuban trades Luka, his franchise over, he might still have it. It just won't be good. Christian, I'm to the point. I don't know what we will do. We got guys no one wants. Without Luka, most of them wouldn't be in a rotation or playing in Europe. Ouch, man. That hurt. Jeez, man, the comment section is on fire tonight. Shout out to Bibs, man. All the traction you brought, bro. Let's look at this poll. The poll is 16 votes. Dwight Powell, PRA, 15 and a half over under, and 69% of y'all said under. Yeah, I know he just had a 24-2 game the other day, I believe.
Well, I say he went way over last game, so.
Hey, y'all gonna take the.
I was tempted. I didn't. I stayed away from that one personally.
Yeah, the fear with him is the early foul trouble, and then just not being able to get any traction early on in the game. And if he's not on in the first quarter, he ain't on the rest of the game. Just right. That's just who he is. So we'll go ahead and end that poll. Here. Now let's get into this next segment, man. So this next segment is going to be our score prediction segment. Let me cue up all the good stuff, all the stingers and stuff, as I like to say. Where's that prediction sound? There we go. Prediction time. All right, man. BibsCorner, Bibs. We could call you every name that we can find for you. Tonight's game, the Mavericks are 25-24. I believe the Suns are, what the hell are they, 24-25 or 24-26? Something like that. What is your game score prediction tonight?
So if what you said is close to accurate, I believe if we lose tonight, yes, we definitely, we're both 25-24. So if we lose, we fall below the Phoenix Suns.
It's a big game then.
And I don't know if we have the tiebreaker with the Timberwolves, but we would be tied with them. I don't know if they're playing tonight. I'm not trying to see us out of the play-in yet, or in the play-in yet. So I'm going to say the Mavs win. I'm going with 112-108 as the score. Luka Magic down the stretch.
It sounds like we have some defense tonight, man.
Just a lot of bricks.
I struggle to think of how we're gonna do in this game because I believe the Suns beat the Hornets the other night 127-97, something like that, and that's without Ayton, and that's without Booker. So it's like they're gonna spread the ball around. I'm gonna say every time I pick whatever my pick is, it's the opposite happens. So in the realm of trying to help the Mavs, I'm gonna roll with the Suns tonight. They're gonna score 128 to the Mavs 120.
Man.
And that's just because reverse psychology, you know, so I hope it's quite the opposite. But the defense has not told me anything differently. The offense is there. The offense execution down at the end of the games have not changed. So this is just who we are. We just don't have good defense this year, and we don't have smart play calls at the end of the game. So that's what I'm going with when it comes to the score tonight. So let's jump. So we got about. I know they say the game starts at 9 tonight. They're playing on TNT tonight, right?
I think. Are they?
TNT or ESPN, something. I'm assuming, but they always start like about a couple of minutes after.
TNT.
Yeah, so TNT either starts right on time or they start way late. So you got would you say you got an extra 10 minutes with me here tonight?
Sure.
All right, so we'll get off at 9.
The Celtics and Knicks just went to overtime.
Oh damn! All right, we'll just play it by ear.
We got plenty of time.
All right. So for the next couple of minutes, man, everyone in the chat, whatever you want to talk about, y'all go ahead and sound off. We're gonna catch up with all the chats. Is there anything you want to bring up prior to getting into this, man? Anything you want to add? Anything you want to add?
Not really. Actually, you know what? If you just want to, are we just shooting?
Yeah, we're just now we're just talking to leading up to the tip off.
So,
pause.
So with our podcast, we're part of a network, and there's podcasters from other teams, and we're doing this project right now where each team represents their team's front office, and we're doing a trade deadline special. So far we've pulled off 2 trades. I want to get your opinion. I want to get the people's opinion on these trades so far.
Okay.
The first trade we did was with the Charlotte Hornets. We got PJ Washington and the Utah second round pick this year for Reggie Bullock and the 2027 first top 5 protected.
Ooh. And all we got is PJ Washington?
All we got is PJ Washington and that Utah second.
First?
2027 first.
2027 first. How old is PJ Washington?
He's 23. So the reason I personally like the idea of pursuing PJ Washington is I see him in the Maxi Kleber mode.
Okay.
More offensive minded.
Yeah.
I've seen him go crazy from 3. He's got some athleticism. He's kind of an undersized 4-man, 4'5". Got really long arms though. And so I kind of look at him as a souped up Maxi, basically. Okay. And we know how important Maxi is to what we do. He's a restricted free agent as well. So a guy whose rights we can retain. And he is, if I can get this to work, he's 24. Turns 25 in August.
You know what? Knowing how difficult it is for us to get any kind of talent, I'd be open to doing that trade for sure. You get PJ Washington prior to him hitting his prime, right? Because right now he's developing, and hopefully he stops making mistakes with Brittany Renner, right? I mean, which I don't mind if she at the Mavs games, but
you ain't got to worry about Instagram thotties in Dallas.
Yeah, I mean, unless that first is going to garner you someone else, I know that the recession is tough out here, and it's also affecting everybody in the NBA. So the first round picks, it's the teams that have the most capital. So if it gets us PJ Washington, I'm open to it. I can see us doing it. I'll do it.
There's 2 players I'm willing to trade the first for this year. It's PJ Washington and Gary Trent Jr.
Bonafide on Gary Trent for sure. 1,000. I love to have
a second trade as well. Second trade is to New York. We traded Tim Frank, and Theo Pinson.
Okay.
Got back Derrick Rose, Cam Reddish, and the Detroit second round pick in 2024 and the Detroit second round pick in 2025.
Done. Sign it, bro. You got Pinson off my team? Like, sign this thing, man.
We initially just said Tim and Frank, and the dude came back and was like, to get this deal done, I need Theo Pinson too. And we were both like, bet. Like, I will drive him up to New York.
I'll pay for his Uber. Like, go ahead, man. Sign off on that deal. It's like New York's getting back all of their players, so we can end this New York Knicks curse off of for the Dallas Mavericks, man. Because we are the Dallas Knicks down here, honestly. If you look at all the turnover. So let's see some of these comments and their reaction. Man, there's so many to keep up with. Let's just we'll get back to this one. The Luka All-Star. So remind me before we hop off. Brad Nikos says 121, 111 Mavs. All right. Rolando says Luka loves playing the Suns. I say 125, 119. It's Mavs. Brad says as long as Micah gets me 2 steals, I'm good. Okay, so I'm pretty sure he's playing one of these over-unders platforms. King from We Talk Mavs. What's up, King? He says 130, 129 Mavs. Ooh, and a nail biter.
I'm gonna say you playing with my heart.
We've been through enough this year with the Mavs with these nail biter games. King says, "What up, TGK? What up, Michael Bivens? What's up, everybody?" Rail says, "Fellas, salute, bro." Harold says 120, 119 Mavs win. What Luka needs to do, improve free throws. I think the entire team needs to improve free throws, bro. Rail says that's fire. I guess he's talking about the stinger. Bro, I've learned so many things doing these streams that from if you go way back to my first one, which was a couple of weeks ago, to where the hell it's at now, it's like night and day. But it's like studying for a course, having to figure out how to move all these little things around.
Hey, it's felt smooth on my end. So
yeah, appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Brad says done. That's a great trade. He's talking about that PJ Washington. Harold says I do it. All right. Lyles, what's up, Lyles? He says 107-94. Jeez, Mavs. Okay. We're about to put on a good defensive game after the trash we saw 2 days ago. I wish they could bounce back like that.
I like it. I like the thought.
107-94. You talking about like 2015 NBA back then, man. Rolando says yes, agree to that trade quickly. All right. Rel says shots. Errol says Gary Trent is expired. I'm not throwing the first. Is he unrestricted or restricted?
He would be unrestricted. He's technically not expiring. He could opt out if he chose to. So the question, and I believe he's expected to opt out. So the idea would be it'd be one of those situations where, Dallas Mavericks have agreed to send blah, blah, blah. Gary Trent is expected to reach an agreement on a new contract in the offseason type of deal.
Kind of like a sign and trade.
Tamper and do that stuff before we would sign off on it.
Love tampering. We need to do more of it. Brad says Reddish is the only reason you do it. Yeah, on that New York trade. No, for sure. I wouldn't mind D-Rose either if he could give me a good 10 to 12 minutes off the bench for sure. Richard says I like the PJ trade, but their channels talking him down, sending Knicks trade to Nico. No, I do like those trades, man. I really hope Nico gets extremely creative with the process of doing these trades, because last year we got lucky trading KP for whatever we were able to get for him, which at the time it didn't seem like much, right? And Spencer definitely shut up a lot of critics. What do you think really happens this trade deadline? What is your expectations of what to expect? What is it, February 9th? What is your expectations on that?
Yeah, I think it's the 9th. So it's funny because last year, again, I'm trying to remember. I don't think I brought it up with you, but I was like, I wanted KP gone. I didn't care what we got back. Mm-hmm. So I remember being excited when the trade went down and just seeing the timeline in flames. Like, I can't believe it. And I was like, look, man, I just wanted KP off the roster. He was bringing the vibes down.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, if Spencer gives us anything, then it's gravy. Like, we're cooking with grease.
Mm-hmm.
And then he came in and he went on that run. I was going through the tweets earlier, and it's like I bought a Spencer Dinwiddie hoodie. Like, that's how real it got for me. Like, it's a very comfortable hoodie, by the way. Shout out to 500level.com. But Spencer Dinwiddie, he made that trade worth it, I would say. This year, I would be stunned, and I actually put out a bet on the podcast that if you don't believe we're going to do anything at this trade deadline, at me on the timeline, tell me you don't believe in Nico and Mark, and I'll put your name in a pool, and I'll send somebody $20 if we don't do something at this trade deadline. I expect something to happen.
Okay.
I don't, and when I say something, I mean a player that's actually going to get minutes coming back, not that JJ
like something
Redick,
worth of significance, right?
Right, like not that JJ Redick stuff. Like somebody that's actually going to come in and get some minutes. I expect that to happen.
All right, so for those watching it, if you are not aware of the Mavs Outsiders, which I'm pretty sure you are, add another 20 on my behalf on that.
I got you.
No, I'll send it if we don't. So trust me, my word is bond. So put that to 40. I'll add to that little pot right there. So yeah, definitely go on Mavs Outsiders and check them out. That way you get your name in the pot. And that's if you really don't believe in them. Go ahead and voice your opinion. don't just be trying to get $40 for the sake of getting it.
So you believe something's gonna happen too?
If you look at the Mavs history, right, we're not known for trading for a straight up all-star. We're known for trading like number twos all the time, like Antoine Jameson, Antoine Walker. Did we trade for Lamar Odom? I feel like we did. Yeah, we did. Well, we were hoping for potential there. We traded for Rondo, which was, coming out of his superstar stage, right? Or star stage. We've never traded for like a bona fide one. The Caron Butler deal was near that, but we never had a one. So I feel like we always get trades. I believe we traded for, or did we sign Jet Terry? I think we traded for him or signed him. Pretty sure we signed him.
I want to say it was a trade.
All right, so I don't recall ever feeling like, oh, we traded for a star. Other than Jason Kidd was like the closest thing to it, but we're talking about latter part of the side of 30, right? So
yeah, like we always got guys that were either past their primes or guys that maybe had some potential to help us, but not necessarily guys that were going to come in and give us 20.
Yeah, and the only examples of like, dang, we got some good trades is initially on the KP deal. I was through the roof on the KP deal initially. I don't feel like I was alone on that. I think we all thought of the potential that they could have had, and then the fact that it just flamed out so quick was horrible. But Spencer Dinwiddie has been probably one of the best trades we've had in franchise history. And if we could somehow find a way to mimic that again and get another good number two somewhere or sub tier 2, high 3, they have done that before. Can they do that again? I hope that they can. And I do see them trying to attempt it. Now, whether they pull it off, I'm not sure how they do that, though.
I did confirm Jason Terry was received via a trade with the Hawks in 2004. Feels like yesterday.
It does feel like yesterday when we had Antoine Wright as our starter. And when
we actually traded Antoine Walker for him. That's the funny part.
Man, you know how many Antoines we had on this team? It's baffling. It's baffling.
Where the Antoines at? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
All of them. Yeah, I hope they pull something off. To be completely honest with you, and will they? I would lean on 60% that they do. So I wouldn't.
I'm at 80.
80? Oh wow. Yeah. I wouldn't throw my hat in the $40 bet, but that's why I'm willing to put an extra 20 on there for you. Okay. So you can announce that on Twitter. Trust me, I got you.
All right, I'll boost it.
All right. Marcellus Hobbs says, shout out to Bally Sports filing for bankruptcy. Okay. I'm glad you said it. So quick thing before we get up out of here. I don't know if they're starting the game yet, but
it's close. They had like a minute left last time I checked.
Okay. Luka Doncic being a all-star starter. This is what, his third one being named to the starter?
Third starter, I think fourth appearance.
He is what, 23, going on 24 now. What are your thoughts when it comes to Luka being like on this rampage of being an all-star and just his overall great player that he is on right now?
I think that it's special what we're seeing. I think he's a special player, and I just want him to have the opportunities to compete that some of his peers are already getting to have, and to feel like his team is actually trying to put the pieces around him so that he can compete. Because it's cool having this great player, but when you feel like you don't have a team that's built to actually do any damage, you just feel like you're buying your time with them at a championship situation.
Yeah. I always said, like, man, I wish I could have I wish we could have like a Kobe or like a LeBron on our team, you know, after having Dirk. And then we had Dirk, and it's like, Dirk is great, you know, he's awesome. He was a team guy, loyalty, took pay cuts and everything. And we knew he was a rare, extremely rare gem. But to have one of those guys that everyone else is going to hate because they don't have him on their team, kind of like with Kobe. We have one of those guys, and all I ever remember is always seeing Kobe in the finals, always seeing LeBron in the finals. We need to allow Luka to have those moments of not only being in those moments of finals, but to have the longevity and consistency to stay in that picture all the time. And we need to be as aggressive as possible to just keep him in that light, man. That's how I feel about it.
We need to stop acting like we're not. Like, if we're not, like, it's weird to me how Mark Cuban wants to act like we're not doing anything, or downplay the fact that we're not doing anything, that we're potentially doing things. Like, most GMs would be out there saying, of course we want to win, we're going to do everything we can, blah, 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 blah. But, you know. Yeah.
Well, what do you think this Bally Sports bankruptcy means for everybody? I heard good and bad things, but mainly bad things for the finances.
Bally Sports does not impact my life. I do not live in Dallas. I can watch the games on League Pass. So I can't watch the Hornets games, which annoys me. But hopefully the NBA has learned their lesson from this Bally situation and does not enter any deals that are going to keep people from being able to see their home teams.
Do you stay near Charlotte?
Stay less than an hour and a half from Charlotte. I'm planning to go to the game in March.
Nice. I forgot what this place is called, like the Epicenter, I believe, and it's like kind of close to the arena. I don't know if you've ever been there. I've been there before. It's pretty lit there. If you ever get a chance to go out there, it's literally like I don't know how to put it. It's just this little. It's not a little square. It's a big square, but there's like 5 levels, and each level there's like a bowling alley up here. There's this bar ring. It's fun, man. A lot of fun.
I used to have a food spot that I went to that was on the other side of the arena, but it got shut down during COVID. So I've started going on over to the Epicenter area more lately.
Yeah, this is a lit spot. Rel says, bro, we got to do a trade. We got to do a trade that moves the needle in a positive direction. 1,000%. 1,000%. Get here before we get up out of here. Brad says, man, if it was me, I'd go try and get Goba Biazze from Indiana. He's a great young center who could turn into a great player. Okay, I like that. Go ahead.
I've always liked him, but he did try to snuff one of the homies at the Euro basket. So, him and did you see it? Were you watching Euro basket?
Not too much.
Who was it? Did they slid on? It was Goga and like a couple other NBA guys. They like went in the tunnel and were trying to jump.
Okay.
I'm forgetting who they were trying to jump.
Yeah, I forgot who it was. There was like a whole, what is it, like a big old brawl on the basketball court, and it kind of spilled into.
It was the Georgia team, and like the cops got involved because they were in Georgia. I'm gonna figure it out. I'm sorry, I hate to end the stream like that.
No, you good. Richard K says we got to pay Wood as a third option. All right, so yeah, we'll talk about that, and then we'll hop up out of here. So the last thing to ask you, man, Christian Wood, do we re-sign him? Do we trade him? What do we do?
So optimally, we can re-sign him. That's the best case scenario, in my opinion. Finding a guy that actually works with Luka offensively is a big deal, in my opinion, and we should be doing everything we can to protect it. If we don't think that he's going to stay, then we have to trade him. because we can't have him walk for nothing, and we can't have that happen to us 2 years in a row. I don't want that to be the option, but if it comes down to it, we got to do what we got to do.
1,000% agree, man. 1,000% agree. All right, man. Well, we're going to head and end the stream here. I'm pretty sure the Mavs are about to tip off, or probably already tipped off. Again, Bibs, I appreciate you so much being on here and hanging out with me for over an hour. Hopefully it felt like 20 minutes, man.
Yeah, facts. I do have the information if you want me to reveal it, who Goga was trying to fight.
Yeah, go ahead.
Goga, Tornik Shangalia, and Duda Sendazi with the police jumped Furkan Korkmaz.
Yeah. Oh, Korkmaz. Okay.
It was crazy.
Yeah, I need to go back and watch that. I always love basketball brawls, man. I think of the malice and the palace, the malice in the palace, man. Good times.
I was watching that game when it happened. Crazy stuff.
Yeah, bro, ESPN would not shut up all the way to like 8 a.m. It was everything. For like the whole week, it was Malice in the Palace. Great stuff back
there. The documentary on Netflix is fire, by the way.
It is. 1,000. All right, man. Again, thank you so much, bro. Y'all could catch Bibs on Mavs Outsiders. Y'all could catch him on Have You Seen on the podcast. Where's Have You Seen on? I saw it on Apple.
It's on everywhere you can get your podcast, Apple, Spotify, and it's Scene, SCENE. It's my movie review podcast.
Like a scene. And again, you could also catch him talking the Mavs stuff on the Mavs Outsiders with your partner in crime out there, and then Reese. And it's a really good show. I enjoy it thoroughly. There's been, if y'all get a chance, one of my favorite ones is really the draft one and the one you had with Skin. I met him one time. I went to like this concert and he was there, and I was like, "Oh crap, what's up, Skin?" And we hung out for like a whole hour, just enjoying music, chatting it up, talking in Deep Ellum. So Skin's a dope one. I'm glad he jumped on your show and had that really what it was, an intimate conversation about basketball and everything that they do. So again, y'all check out Mavs Outsiders. They got a cool little pot going on that I'm gonna add to. So again, thank you so much for being on here, bro. Anything you want to share before we head out?
No, man, thanks for having me. It's a lot of fun. Like I said, I don't really get to do the YouTube or the live or anything like that. So anytime I get to partake, I appreciate it.
Hey, man, thank you so much, bro. All right, let's go, Mavs. Hopefully we get a win tonight, and we're going to catch y'all. I won't be doing a stream Saturday. I'll be at the Royal Rumble. I don't know if you watch wrestling, but I'll be at the Royal Rumble vlogging it. So I'm going to miss a pregame show then. I'll probably do one Friday night if y'all want me to, but we'll catch you on the next possible game after Saturday. Anyway, been your boy TGK here with Bibs. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Appreciate you, bro.